Author Soman Chainani, latest and final book in the series right here, Fall of the School for Good and Evil. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks so much for having me.
The book is now in stores. You're on a book tour. You were just in the Chicagoland area at Anderson's Bookshop. Tell me a little bit, how's the book tour been going?
It's been great. I mean, this is my 10th year of touring with the School for Good and Evil series, the last one really ever. And so I treated it almost like a celebration tour. It was just fantastic. And now the fans are of so many different ages. You know, when I started, it was all young readers, and now people have grown up with it. They've given it to their parents. And so you have everyone from 8 to 88 showing up, and it makes for a really fun family, sort of family party.
We get to see a little bit darker themes in this book. Tell me a little bit about what that experience was like, especially, talking about the rise, getting to write all these books, throughout the past decade, but then kind of taking a little bit of the darker side.
I think for me, the joy of writing the School for Good and Evil is to explore every possible facet of good and evil, whether it's the themes or whether it's the relationships. And I think in Rise and Fall, I wanted to write books that were a little shorter in order to catch some reluctant readers, and really focus on the relationship between these two brothers, these two identical twin siblings. One who's pure good, one who's pure evil. They would like to get rid of each other. They'd like to rule the school for themselves. But the balance is the only way the school functions. The balance is the only way they both stay alive and immortal. So, they have to put their greed and their power hunting behind them. But finally, one of them decides that it's time for the other to go. So it really is a murder plot told over the course of 2 books. And the question is, whether they can find a happy ending together. But in my books, happy endings tend to be elusive.
What does this mean to put an end to this chapter, not only in the series, but this has been such a big part of your life over the past decade, and to see all the readers and people coming out to the book tour?
For me, it's been great because when I finished the last book, the 6th book in the series, it was during COVID when it came out, and so there was no big grand finale tour. I never got to see the readers finish the series, and so this kind of became the replacement for it, which I really loved. And I just love getting to meet readers and go into schools and talk to kids about reading. And it just seems like another part of the job that I love as much as the writing. I love getting out there and having contact with the readers, because I think that as an author, sometimes you don't get to see their experience of it. They're reading it on their own. So I love that part of it too.
And another way that fans got to experience the story was through the Netflix film. Congratulations on that. What was it like being on set? Like, this is a world that you created, and you had Charlize Theron, Kerry Washington, Michelle Yeoh, like, in your world. I mean, what was that experience like?
It was crazy. It was just a wild, nutty experience, because I think my first day on set is when I did that cameo with them. There's a scene where I play a teacher. And so to spend time with them, to be around them, to see how normal they are and how cool they are, and we were able to just become buds over the course of the shooting and things like that. So it felt very relaxed, very friendly, and they're amazing talents. And to see them in a world that I created made me feel a little less intimidated and a little less scared to be there. And I think it just gave me confidence in the power of storytelling in general, that it all begins with words on a page. And so it's easy to discount the writers in the process, but that's where it all starts.
You're in a new location. I was kind of hoping I would hear some goats in the background, but the goats have been very quiet. Tell me what this new location.
Yeah, I moved to a goat farm in St. Louis. Luckily, I have an apartment in the city, so I'm in the apartment in the city during the week, and then the goat farm on the weekends. So my life is very different than it was a year ago when I lived in New York for 22 years. But now that I'm done with the School for Good and Evil, it felt like a good time to blow up my life and do something completely different.
How is the goat farm? How is this new city? How is this kind of going to transform Soman as far as, maybe the next novel or the next books that we're going to get?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think I moved for a relationship. My personal life was in shambles most of the 10 years I was writing School for Good and Evil, because the books were my, one true love. And then when it was all over, I was able to actually focus on my personal life and found a partner quite quickly. And so they happen to be a goat farmer. And so that's how I ended up here. And I just love getting to explore a new side of myself. It's a much quieter, much simpler life. I don't have to be running around all day in Manhattan traffic and losing my mind. I feel a lot more centered, and I just think it's going to make for a cool new book. Whatever it is, I'm working on something now, but we'll see where it comes from. But I just think it's going to have a different feel than anything I've done before. I'm sort of pushing myself to try to find a new level.
I was in St. Louis recently. I got a chance to go to the zoo. It was a wonderful zoo. It's huge. It's such a beautiful experience, but I didn't get enough time to spend there. And I think that, I got to make that a point sometime this summer to go and spend a little bit more time in that city.
Yeah, I think everyone's a little nervous that I'm here because first day I was here, we went to the zoo, and there was a bear there, and the bear was acting funny. He just had his hand. He was like had his head rested on his hands, and he was staring at me like close up through the window. And I turned to my partner and his family, and I was like, "There's something up with that bear." And they're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "There's something up with that bear." And the next day, the bear walked out. He escaped from that enclosure and just roamed around the zoo until people found him. And I was like, "I told you." So now everyone thinks that I cursed the bear somehow, or did something, or told him to escape. Which, knowing me, I probably would have.
It's some kind of mind trick that you did on the bear. That could be, the premise of a new book.
So everyone's a little nervous. Yes.
This is totally off topic, but I was visiting there right after that bear got loose, and one of the workers was telling me, she's like, people were just taking pictures, like nobody was like frightened. They just thought it was like, oh, cool, a bear's walking around. Like, no, like get away. It was crazy how people reacted.
Well, he's so chill. There's something about him. He's just chill. He's a little bit of a weirdo. I think he just wanted to go wander around and see what was up. That was the feeling I got, which is like, you look at me, now I want to go look at all of you. That's, I felt like I was reading his mind, and that's what happened.
He's like, someone's in my city, so let's go touring around. Let's go hang out. Maybe we're back looking for you.
Like, where's that dude that knew what I was thinking? He probably, he probably would have eaten me first. So I'm glad I wasn't there.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on the new book. Congratulations on the relationship, your new home, and also follow the School for Good and Evil in stores now. And Soman, thank you so much for your time today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.